Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live stream. We were already here chatting. We thought we might as well just press go live and continue our conversation. I don't think Don or Tony really need an introduction from me. So, hello, guys.
No introduction? Oh, man. So we're going to get an introduction.
I will say, at least I got the holiday spirit going.
I have mine right here. Llamas for me. But yes, it's nice to see you guys. We were kind of just talking and thought we hadn't had a conversation in a while. We might as well do it live on the internet. That's what we do best. So
yeah,
here we are. So yeah, I try and keep up with you guys, of course. You seem to be all over the place. I know Tony recently had Jenny had a bit of an eventful cruise, didn't she? So that was your last cruise. Sky Princess, was that you guys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Luckily, it happened near the end. How's Jenny doing, Tony? Did we lose Tony?
I don't know. I still see him, but he's not saying anything. But I think she's fine because I asked him yesterday and he said, so we'll just leave Tony there on the side.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I just had I had like 4 streams of audio going and I'm like, wow. It's like the Matrix over here. Yes, the lovely Jenny B is doing quite well. We've hit about 6 or 7 days into the recovery, and the thing they told us on the cruise ship's absolutely true. She's starting to walk around fairly well on her own. And yeah, it was that was wild. It was good for the channel though. So like we're trying to plan how somebody in our party could get injured on each cruise, because a lot of people seem to be interested in that. So we don't want to fake anything. So we're just trying to figure out how we can get legit injuries along the way. But yeah, she took one for the team, so I feel pretty excited about that. It was a Christmas miracle, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking the same thing. You know, my video about my cruise that was cancelled after 4 hours has done better than any video when I've ever gone on a cruise. And I really don't want my cruises I don't want that to happen again. But it's the same sort of situation that you're in. Very, very interesting. And
I think I'm going to miss my next cruise and have a picture of me standing there looking at it sail away from port. 1 million views instantly.
That's right.
Crazy.
Yeah,
right?
if you phrase it as like, man, Mrs. Cruise Ship, crazy like running, get someone else to film you do it, that would do fantastically. But you're sacrificing a cruise there. Depends what you want to do. I'm going to do my best to keep up with the comments in the chat, as I'm sure everyone can understand the comments go very, very fast. So we're going to answer as many questions as we can. If you can start the questions with the word question in capital letters, it makes it so much easier for me to pick out what is a question. I just clicked on the comments and my screen just went white because there's too many comments. So that's great.
By the way, did you guys hear about that brand new sport on cruise ships, pickleball?
Yes.
Pickleball and pickleball. For some reason, I couldn't say pickleball in my video yesterday, and people were laughing at me constantly. You have to realize I'm getting old. My mouth doesn't work the way it used to.
I think that's more fun, though.
I'm going to say as few words as possible some days.
I mean, I get those comments all the time, like, Emma, you don't pronounce assume as assume. And I'm like, yes, I do. That's how I say it. That's how my accent is. But reading the comments, you would not think. I know Tony tries his best at doing my accent, but...
Yeah, I can't pull it off at all. It just sounds like I'm doing bad community theater.
I mean,
but... Oh, no, I was going to say the pickleball, I didn't accidentally. So I'd played pickleball on a cruise ship before the shutdown. And of course, now it's really all the rage. It's all the rage down here in Florida. It's like ping pong and tennis. People of a certain age, like it's good for older people. Let me just say that. And so I made the mistake of going onto YouTube and watching like the rules and how to score and all that. And so now my whole YouTube feed is filled with, maybe I watched professional pickleball over the weekend. Maybe I did. Don't judge me. But that happened.
That sounds interesting. So it's nice to learn new stuff. You never know kind of what direction you're going to go in. So that's pretty cool. So many names I recognize in the chat. I'm sure lots of people from your channels have come here too. So it's nice to see you. I'm going to do my best, but please, if I don't see something, it's not me ignoring you. It just goes so fast. Tony, Team Coke over there, Team Pepsi.
Coke is better than Pepsi.
Dr. Pepper, I think, Don, isn't it?
Right, Dr. Pepper.
Don's like the Switzerland of soda.
Hey, your brother-in-law said I did the genius thing by bringing my own case of Diet Dr. Pepper on the ship, and he was regretting not doing the same.
He was definitely regretting not doing the same.
It's a bit of a hard one to find, Dr. Pepper, isn't it? Normally on cruise ships, it's a bit more niche.
I think Royal Caribbean is the only one who has it, but only as fountains. So you have to buy the package.
in those machines. I wouldn't go near Dr. Pepper, so I don't know about that one. Thank you, Brent, for my super chat. We appreciate that one. The comments are just going so unbelievably fast. My goodness. I see my mum is in the chat. I see Cruise Boys in the chat. Nancy's in the chat. Cruise Monkey's in the chat. Oh my goodness. Everybody is here. Oh, the comments. Yeah, the comments are just stuck, but this is so cool. A good question, I think, from Justin, and he says, when will Tony and Don do a group cruise in Europe? Like, come over my way, please, because I really want to cruise with you guys, but you're always far away.
I was just in Rome. I was just in Amsterdam going to Norway.
Didn't tell me.
But I'm there all the time. I'm back. I'm guaranteed in 2024, but I'll be back well before then. I keep saying we're going to rendezvous sometime when I get down into that area, but you're always on a cruise when I show up. So.
That is the problem. It's quite tricky, isn't it, with our plans? We're always off somewhere doing something. But yes, I really love that. Whenever you guys are cruising together, I'm always watching your stuff. And
I think
one day
river cruising.
Oh yeah,
you're
please.
More experienced river cruising than I am.
I'll take you on a river cruise. That would be amazing. That'll be so fun.
Here's a little bit of a tease that I haven't even talked to Emma about, but I just booked yesterday. Jenny B and I just booked a cruise from Southampton.
You
2023. In 2023.
Oh,
that's all
exciting.
I can say right now. Yes.
Is it one that I would like? You know what sort of cruise lines I like? What sort of cruises I do?
Yeah, it's a cruise line that you would frequent. So yeah.
Interesting. Oh, I will look forward to that. Lots of comments.
It's a British Isles cruise, though. That might be boring to you, though. But it's a British Isles cruise.
I've done plenty of British Isles cruises. They're really good. You know, I've never really thought about it before the shutdown when we couldn't leave Britain. But after that, I went around Britain a couple of times, and it was lovely. It's just I kind of want sunshine. Is normally the reason I fly when I do a cruise. But it'll be fantastic for you. Absolutely fantastic. Oh my goodness. Jackie says, can we do 2 hours? I try and keep these live streams to an hour. I know sometimes I try and dip in you guys' live streams and you can go for all night on the conversations. Normally I'm asleep because you do them about 2 or 3 in the morning. But yes, my goodness.
Cruise Boys, it's pronounced pickleball. Not pickleball, apparently.
Okay, got it.
It is. Is it a US thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it's the fastest. So the tagline is it's the fastest growing sport in the United States. Essentially, they've taken a tennis court and shrank it down so you can get 3 pickleball courts in the same area as 1 tennis ball court. It uses a hard plastic paddle, a wiffle ball instead of a rubber ball, and it's got all kinds of weird rules. So it's like playing ping pong on a tennis court, essentially.
On a big scale.
It's really on fire over here, and it's really easy to do on a cruise ship. So like on the big Royal Oasis class ships, they're able to take that basketball court and carve out 3 or 4 pickleball courts. And so they will have dedicated time. The first cruises I ever played it on, I believe, was a Princess cruise ship. So and people were really nice to teach the game, that kind of thing. So if you're cruising, I don't know what it'll be like in the UK or Europe, but certainly in the United States, if you're cruising, you'll have a pickleball learning opportunity, I would say.
It's interesting. I'll keep an eye out for it. I've never seen it or anything like that, so that would be cool. Thank you for this super chat. Going on MSC's new luxury cruise line. Interesting. You know, MSC is a mixed bag, but I've had some fantastic MSC cruises. I started in 2012, I think, with MSC, and it's very different now. In the last 10 years, I think they've made a lot of improvements.
What's their new luxury line? Is it Ventura?
So they're trying to, it's going to be completely separate from MSC as far as I can tell, but it's an interesting to move from MSC, which is very much a family, very much a budget cruise line. If I had to bet on which cruise line would have moved into the luxury market, I don't know that I would have picked MSC, but their ships are absolutely beautiful. I can see why they want to do it, but MSC are popping out cruise ships like it's nobody's business.
They have 6 of those luxury ones on the books already to be built. So they're right now they're the fastest growing cruise company out there.
Yeah, they're in. Are they cruising from Texas or somewhere? Tony, didn't you say that?
Well, they're trying. Yeah,
they're trying to solidify a deal to cruise from Texas. So it's wild how the effort that MSC is putting into the North American market, but to me, it just seems like they're trying to, catch up, so like Royal or, they all have those mid-tier and then luxury brands, the Oceania inside the NCL family.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're trying to copy that model. But the cool thing is, you know, they essentially have all that, you know, regular MSC shipping money behind them, and they're not as kind of, you know, like all the major cruise companies like Carnival, Royal, they're all like, they're drowning in debt because of the shutdown. And so it seems like MSC maybe has a financial leg up, and they're trying to strike while the iron is hot, like a good time to get in. I think, you know, it's interesting because they use the low pricing over here in North America to get people on board. And, you know, I think eventually it'll be an easy transition, you know, for people that are, say, cruising in the yacht club or something like that to go ahead and go to that luxury line. So it's going to be interesting to see from a business perspective how it works out. But it seems like it's a good plan.
Yeah, for me, you know, that if I'm going to do a luxury line, MSC's luxury line is probably more, you know, where I will be. So we will see. We'll wait and see about that. We have a good question from Mike, and he says, before cruising, what were our prior careers? What were our careers? Who wants to go first?
Well, I was a manager of Frito-Lay, which is our chip company. So a brand of PepsiCo, but the Salty Snacks brand. And I basically ran the warehouse here in Ottawa, loading all the trucks at night, making sure the deliveries got out for the morning. So I was responsible to make sure all of the sales staff were happy the next day. And did that for 19 years. And before that, I was a fiber optics developer working for KDS Uniphase.
Very different from cruises. I think we all have quite different careers, don't we? Tony, go next.
Yeah, so I spent about 25 years working in IT. So I started as kind of a PC tech, and I used to work on a mainframe prior to Y2K. That was before the year 2000, Emma. We had jobs back then, like adult jobs. I know,
primary,
but that's right. So so that's what I did, and then eventually I moved into the leadership, like a leadership role. And so my last job is I worked for a big company, keeping computers up around the globe. So, but big IT background.
Cool. So for me, I worked in data development for a group of car insurers. So I was very much sitting at a computer coding all day, every day, trying to merge data sets and make pretty reports for finance and actuarial and things like that. And I can't make that sound as interesting as the cruise world. If I had the choice between insurance and cruising, I chose to move. So
I was going to say, who misses their old job at this point?
I do get asked that a lot. It's one of the most common questions, but not for a second. I guess the only thing I miss is, you know, having an office of people who we'd go to the pub like every lunch together and stuff like that. Having colleagues, I kind of miss that. You guys are as close as we have colleagues each other, but we're not like able to go to the pub for lunch and talk about stuff most of the time.
I bet you when you went to, traveling with your other job, people didn't stop you and say, "Hey, you're Emma."
Oh no! Well,
bet you get that now.
Well, I was on a call when I was still working in data, like a group call, just a voice call, and someone was like messaging, I recognize your voice, which was so strange. When those two worlds start to collide, that's really, really bizarre. Because I didn't tell anybody for years and years and years because I didn't really have any need to. It was completely unrelated. You know, my cruise website didn't affect my ability to code, so I never told anyone. But yes, now it's very, very different, but it is fantastic. It just takes me by surprise when I'm on a cruise ship, I'm totally in the zone. As soon as I step off the cruise ship, I completely forget that anybody would have any idea. I just don't. So if someone comes up to me when I'm out, if I'm like in London or something, it just takes me a while. I think, have I forgotten you? Like, did I know you from somewhere?
It's a totally weird feeling, right?
Really, really strange. But as on a cruise, I think I'll just, if anyone talks to me, I'll just talk back. I'll just smile at anyone who looks at me. So hopefully it's okay. But yes. Oh, we have a question. This is more for me, but I'm going to answer this one because I'm so excited. And it says, what is the status of the Hudson Plushies? So for those of you who don't know, I've been creating a plushie, like a soft toy, in the hopes that people will take these on their cruises and, you know, take Toy Hudson to different countries, take a picture of him by the pool and stuff. The way that it works is I'm not about to start a factory making Hudson plushies, of course. I don't want my house to be full of them. So we're doing like a big order. We're doing it for charity. We're doing it for Mercy Ships. So all of the profits will go to that. And I have got the first sample of Captain Hudson.
Oh, look at that.
And I think he is the cutest thing that I've ever seen. So this is exactly Hudson. He's got his exact colorings. It says Hudson on the hat, if you can see there. It says Emma Cruz is around there. I even made him have little pink feet and his little tail, and he stands up lovely. So it'll be a little while before I'll have these on pre-order. We'll kind of open them for a sales window. Hopefully we'll meet whatever requirements I need, and they'll be very exclusive. So in the new year, Hudson stuffies will be coming out. I do have real Hudson here. If I He's so smart. As soon as he sees me put up these lights and sit on this chair, he's like, oh, it must be dreamy time. There you go. He's a happy little cat. Oh, okay, so I think I have got some super chats are flashing up, but my screen has just got white comments. There we go. Thank you, Mike, for the super chat. Who says Merry Christmas? Yes,
hey,
I've almost forgotten about Christmas. Are you guys doing a big Christmas?
I've already done mine. We got back on Saturday, and we had our Christmas dinner Sunday. So lovely. I flew in, I cleaned my house, and I cooked for 20 people. The next day. I even had to pick up the turkey from my nephew, who had to defrost it, because I was on a cruise ship and it wouldn't have been defrosted in time that I got it. So I had to leave it at his house.
Wow.
And so, 20 people, but it went off without a hitch. And
the
food was delicious, if I say so myself.
Good. Lovely. Love Christmas food. Tony, big Christmas?
We're having a little bit of a low-key Christmas. So our kids are spread out a decent amount of places across the U.S. And so one of our sons that works close to here, sorry, that's the sun. I know everybody's got the cold snap going on. It's still 61 here. That's the sun coming in. But we're having a small Christmas. We're going to go over to my mother-in-law's and spend some time there. One of our sons are in, and our daughter that normally comes over, she's not feeling well. And so she doesn't want to jeopardize getting me sick before I travel with Dawn there. So we're all going to do it kind of virtually. But, it's kind of funny. We really work hard kind of as a family to make everything feel a little special, and so it's kind of okay when days that are special are not necessarily treated as special. So it's just gonna be another low-key week for us here, I think.
That's lovely though. I think a lot of people put a lot of pressure on Christmas, and it's quite stressful in a lot of ways. So I'm also having just like a family quiet Christmas. I spent last Christmas on a cruise, and it was some of the worst weather I've ever had on a cruise. We had 3 storms. We couldn't dock. So when I've got Christmas cards this year, it's like, have a great Christmas, not as seasick as last year. So that will be my plan. Thank you, Paula, for the super chat, who says, any plans for South American Antarctic cruise? You guys?
I'm definitely Antarctica.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah,
I just have to find the time in between cruises right now to go there, the best time. But I've been searching expedition ships, and then I've been searching regular cruises that head down there. I'd really rather do it on an expedition ship.
Oh,
but
yeah,
they're like
do it properly.
Cost, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think
same.
If
I go on an expedition ship, I'm getting a high deck.
Everything I know about it comes from Gary.
Great.
Yeah. Gary's my Antarctica expert. I personally don't really know much about it other than what Gary's shown us. So Tony, you gonna do Antarctica?
Yeah, I mean it's on the bucket list for sure. I don't think it's a 2023 for me. Like trying to be a little more deliberate this year. So definitely want to go back to Alaska. I'm gonna keep going to Alaska until I feel like I've run out of things to do, and I don't think I'm close to that yet. So maybe the yearly pilgrimage to Alaska, and then of course being able to get to Europe for the first time is going to be exciting. And then, of course, we're getting to go to Australia and New Zealand, which was unexpected, but that was definitely on the bucket list. So I feel like making strides, but it'll probably be 2024 before I get to the Med. But I definitely would love to go on some sort of expedition, trip somewhere. But it'll probably be later than next year for sure.
Yeah, so many places to go, so many amazing things to do. And same, I'd love to do Antarctica. It's not on my, immediate list. My immediate list for next year is I've got to do an Alaska cruise. When I look at anything on my website, top search is Alaska cruise. Emma cruises Alaska, and I haven't done it since I was 11, which it does not make me qualified to talk about it. Because I had a great cruise. That's what started everything for me when I took that cruise. But the things that I liked about it, the things I remember, it's not the things that I can give advice on. I was 11. I was just excited to eat the pizza and like go into swimming pools, and I thought I was so cool because I had friends in the kids clubs, and like I knew people from America and stuff, and I thought I was so cool going back to school. But yes, I think that's one of my definitely to do next year. It's just the airfare that puts me off. The cruise is okay, the airfare from here, but we'll
try
have to
going
do
to
it.
Australia from Ottawa.
Yes. How long does that take you to get there?
18 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
4 hours to Vancouver and then another 14 hours to Sydney.
That's a long way. Oh,
it's about the same for me. I fly from Florida 4 hours to Los Angeles and then 13 hours down to Sydney. So it's going to be an interesting long flight.
Yeah, it'll be so worth it. So worth it. Absolutely. I really want to get that way at some point, but yeah, it's a long way, and you need some time to get over that, I think, when you get there.
Oh yeah, but that's that's why I save my air miles for trips like this, so I can upgrade myself to the sleeper class kind of thing, right, where you can lie down, because I could not imagine 18 hours in coach and then trying to run around and see Sydney while we're there for New Year's. We would have killed ourselves, kind of thing, right? So.
That sounds very smart. No, it'd be so good. I'm very envious. It would be fantastic. We have a super chat, which is Dreamies for Hudson. Thank you very much. I haven't mentioned Christmas to Hudson or got him like an advent calendar for cats or anything like that, but he seems quite happy. So thank you for that. Oh my goodness, these comments. Thank you so much, everybody, for all your comments and questions. And I normally try and come back and see as much as I can after the live streams as well. But you guys do your own live streams. So, it's quite nice that you know what it's like being on this side of the screen.
That's why I'm back from my computer and I can just watch the screen now.
It's nice, isn't it? It's quite nice for me, though, because you can chat while I have a look at the screen. Whereas when it's myself, I have to be reading and speaking. And it's hard not to say what you're reading. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get funny sentences. But yes, we have a question that says, have you cruised together? I have not cruised with either of these guys, but you guys together have done some, haven't you? What ones have you done?
Quite a few now. Like
I don't know what the count is.
9 or 10?
Yeah, probably 9 or 10. I mean,
Really?
I think our first one was 2018 on the MSC Seaside, or was it 2019? No, that was 2019 was our first one.
Yeah.
And then we did the big trip to Asia. But then we've stuck a few more after and in between. So yeah, you could be right. 5 or 6 maybe.
Oh my goodness. That's happened so fast.
Panama, Alaska.
Yeah, we did a lot this year. We did like 3 we did 2 back-to-back, the Apex and the Sky Princess this year, and then the Panama, and then this other Sky Princess. So at least 4 this year, I think.
And the Wonder.
Wow.
The Wonder twice.
No.
Yeah, the Wonder twice. You might be right. It might be 10. Could be 10. Wow.
Amazing. I'm yet to do, but I have booked one of the big Royal Caribbeans. I booked on Symphony for next year, so I'm excited. I've only been on Anthem and Independence, so it'll be quite different to do that. But based on everything I've seen, I've watched, everybody else do it, and I think that will suit me nicely. They've got their, soda machine and stuff, so I will be quite happy. Or a question about my last cruise, and also you met this. I don't know who is behind this account, but they met you on Sky Princess, so maybe you know. Oh. But yes, so my cruise was cancelled after 4 hours of embarkation. We were at dinner when they announced that our cruise was cancelled, and we could either take a refund or we could take, like a future cruise credit and then get a 50% discount on a future cruise, so it would be kind of worth more. I took the refund. I'm not saying I'll not do another ambassador cruise. I probably will at some point, but I took the money and I upgraded my next cruise from an inside to a balcony. So I'm treating myself for that one. But yes, they said nice. Refund within 2 weeks is what they say. I filled out the form. I'll let you know when I've got the money. But yeah, I think I watched your video earlier, Don, about people saying, believe it or not, people say that the cruise should have gone ahead. Yeah. So yeah, I've had a lot of those comments too. So this cruise was cancelled because they were doing an annual inspection and they found problems with the lifeboat stations, something to do with some cracks and some things that it sounds important. And yeah, I think you found the same. And in my comments, there's plenty of people who say it should sail. I don't understand that logic at all. I definitely don't think so.
That would be the one time, because fate. fate always reacts, right? The
Mm-hmm.
one time you make an exception is the one time something will happen.
Yeah.
And I don't need cruise insurance for this 2-day cruise. I'll just skip it this time. Bam, you break the leg. Right? It's always the way. Never trust it. Never take on fate.
It's such a crazy proposition because these businesses, their preference would be to sail. Like, you know, you would think that, you know, so if they finally made the hard decision to pull everybody off a cruise ship and cancel the next cruise ship, it's probably pretty important that they do that. So yeah, that always makes me laugh too. And of course it would go the other way. If something tragic would happen, it'd be, oh, I can't believe these guys chose profit over safety. You know, so it's kind of, unfortunately they're in a situation where they can't win sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have, if they said, right, we found a problem with the lifeboats, do you want to still go? Of course not. Like, they have those checks for a reason, and lifeboats are kind of the minimum I expect from a cruise ship. So
it's like a pilot coming on and saying, folks, one of our engines is having difficulty. Do you want to head to Australia or should we wait? Yeah, no, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The only thing that at the time I was like, why can't we stay on board as like a floating hotel? We're already here. You've got the food, you've got the entertainment. I think it's probably a combination of insurance reasons. They can't keep people on longer than they have to be. Maybe someone needed the port as well. You know, you can't just keep a ship there when it's supposed to be in Bruges. But
and didn't they sail like the next day to get the repairs done? So I think
straight away
they found a spot to get in for the repairs over Christmas.
Yeah,
I think they jumped at it, right? And said, we're already going to pay through the nose because it's Christmas. We're going to have to pay all these guys overtime and got to get the work done. So, you know, I think they still made the right decision.
Yeah, I think so too. But then was it their decision? Did they really have a choice? I don't know. I think probably they got told, you'll be in big, big trouble if you try to break the rules, thankfully. But yes, on either way I see it is I had a nice free dinner, and a show, and I would be different, you know, if this was like an MSC cruise somewhere where people have flown from different countries. I can't say who was on this cruise, but I didn't find anyone who didn't have a British accent and mostly from the south. I think it was mostly everyone from London because it was a London cruise port.
The next cruise was a 12-day cruise. That might have made a difference.
Yeah, but thankfully that was cancelled in advance. Everyone didn't get on board and then get it cancelled. A lot of people have moved over to P&O for their Christmas because there's a similar on the newest P&O ship. So to go from that one, which is quite old, to the newest P&O, pretty cool. But yeah, I do feel for the people who've probably planned their Christmas for years and then it's not happening.
Are you jumping on Arvia?
I'm not, because I already cruised on Iona, which is the sister. And when I was on Iona, I booked Iona again. So I'm going on Iona. They've added, you know, like a new kids, like ropes and splash park and stuff. But like, it's pretty much the same. So I'm on Iona soon. I'm on a cruise and I've never found so many other people who say, yes, I'm also coming on that cruise. I'm doing it as there's 8, I think, of us family going, and I know maybe 20 other people who are on there. And you know what? Exciting. I'm actually going to not make a video for this cruise, and this will be the first cruise since 2016 that I've just gone on as a cruise, because I've been on the ship before. I've been to every single port before. I've done the cabins before, and I want to cruise. So I don't want to be like, oh, I've got to get back. I've got to film this, and also I'm cruising with my nieces, and I'm not happy with putting them on the channel. You know, it's hard enough being an adult on YouTube, so I'm not going to put them on it. So I think I'm going to take a week off, which I'm really looking forward to. Nice. I know, yeah.
There you go.
I haven't since 2016. I know, but I think there's no better one for me to do that. You know, I know the ship. I've eaten in every restaurant. I'll still share it as we go, but I'll do live streams and stuff. But I don't think I'll be like filming everything again. So I'm looking forward to it. Excited.
Well, especially with a bunch of people on board that you know.
So many. So there's plenty of other, you know, cruise YouTubers on there. So I'll just say, if you want to see it, I'm in behind the scenes video made by the cruise boys, or made by Lizzie, or made by all these other people who I know are on board. So that'll be quite nice. I don't even know where to begin. Which question should I start with? Let's start with, if you were not into cruises, would you still be a YouTuber in another subject? That's a good question. Do you think?
It's hard. I was always a cruise expert more than anything else as far as travel is concerned. If anything, I might have started a gaming channel because I'm also a big gamer. But I'm not as passionate about gaming as I am about cruising. So I don't think I would have. No, if it wasn't for cruising, I don't think I'd have been on YouTube at all.
No, Tony?
I certainly would. I love the creative aspect of YouTube. I mean, I dabbled with it like when the unboxing phase was such a big thing, like Loot Crate, everybody was coming on and opening up their Loot Crate, all that stuff. And I liked it. I mean, this is the cool thing is, I think people create for a couple of reasons. People create just to be creative, but then I think there's some part of us that we create because we want people to see what we create. And so I think YouTube is really an interesting way where you can do both of those things. You can make because you like to make, but then you can also put something out there and have people engage with it, which is, it's fantastic when you make a connection over something that you've made or something that you make impact somebody in a way, positive or negative. It's pretty exciting. So, I mean, I don't think I was pursuing YouTube as a thing, but I was definitely dabbling with the platform, and I'm very fortunate that these two things collided for me. So I probably would have. Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to be some sort of creator. Every social media platform now really is like an on-ramp, an entryway to creativity. So it's probably, I guess to answer the question simply, yes.
I think it would be different for me. If right now you said, Emma, you can never go on a cruise again, I wouldn't leave YouTube because I really enjoy it and I would do other things on there. But if you took me back to the beginning and I hadn't practiced it for about 6 years, I don't know if that I would have ever started, because my channel started as, I started more on the website side, writing things. And then it was just, I need to show this. There's just certain things that are so much easier to show. So it was more like, oh, here's the view from the elevator. Here's the sailing in this port. And then I started talking in the videos, but it wasn't a conscious effort. It was just trial and error many, many times, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of videos. And between us, I don't even know how many hours of, I can't even think about it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Next question is, if you designed a cruise ship, what would it be like? I know my answer to this one.
Well, you go first then, if you know.
Okay, so I would have a lot of technology on it. I love the princess technology. I'd have it work. And I would take it even further. I would be ordering things from my phone. I don't see why I need to look at the menu on my phone and then tell someone. I would just be pressing the buttons. It would go to the kitchen and I would put everything like that on it. We would obviously have like vending machines that just dispose cookies all the time and I can just get cans of Pepsi Max. That'd be fantastic. I wouldn't have any I would have like a night, but I wouldn't have like forced dress codes, forced formal nights. I don't want to be told that I have to do something. I'm happy to do it, but when it's my choice. So quite a casual one, I think. And I really like the musicals and the big Broadway shows in the theater. So I'd have a lot of that, I think.
Okay, you're up, Tony.
I guess if I was going to design a cruise ship, I'll steal Emma's answer a little bit. I would definitely make it high tech. I think that even just since I've been cruising since 2017, which isn't that long, there's been significant advancements. I would like to see, of course, faster internet on board. I mean, I look at cruising as an extension of living everyday life, and we're just in that fortunate situation. So I want some high-speed internet. I would like almost like some work cubicles where you could go, or just have a little work room. Like there's definitely space wasted on cruise ships that could be used for that kind of activity. And then I love the way that the Oasis class ships for Royal Caribbean really put an emphasis on a variety of entertainment. Whether I like the fact that it's not just a stage show and it's not just a game show, but they really have it kind of diversified with the ice skating and the aqua shows, those kind of things. So I would probably make my cruise line would be entertainment forward. It would be nightlife forward, right? Party late into the night where there's a good action going on in the casino, or just some sort of late night scene, where people would sleep late, where they wouldn't even want to clean your cabin until 10 or 11 o'clock every day. And, and that's what it would be like that. And so, really kind of focus on nightlife and those kind of things. But but I think technology is the basis for all of it, really.
Yeah, I'm an entertainment on board guy as well, right? So I would make sure that my entertainment venues were designed for what you're putting in those events. Like, for instance, they have the club on the Celebrity Edge. That is a great spot, but you can't view everything from all the angles. Like, you can't always see the screen. You can't, they're doing Deal or No Deal. I don't know what the numbers are because I'm trying to do this underneath the seat. So I would make sure that I would have multiple entertainment venues, but designed for what you're putting in there. And so game shows would be in a venue for game shows, right?
Yes.
And I would put everything towards it. I'm getting like really disappointed on some cruise lines when you go and you're doing trivia and there's a whole bunch of winners and they don't have enough prizes, little corkscrews that cost 99 cents. They don't have enough of them to give out to people. Never do that.
No,
because it leaves bad taste in people's mouths when they have to do rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah,
to win a corkscrew.
They didn't have any on my Norwegian cruise at all. Like never any trivia prizes. Yeah,
but no, I would be very entertainment and food oriented. Quality food,
I would
all the way.
Yeah, just to add on to that, the other thing that I'd like to see from a trivia perspective is some sort of way to understand who's cheating or lying on their trivia, and then some sort of public shaming. Like I think if you get caught cheating at the trivia just to get the corkscrew, I think that you should be open to public shaming, and I think that would be cool. Like maybe a live feed of public shaming, but that's probably what I would have that on my cruise line. I think
I did it on a river cruise where you have like a pad and you press A, B, C, D, and you have a username, and it all comes up on the screen so you can see who won, who didn't, what everyone pressed. And it's quite funny when they ask a question. 98% of people put this answer, and then there's like the two that got a different thing. But yes, I would do that. And another thing, I would not have a break in the buffet between breakfast and lunch, because that's exactly when I want to eat. I want to wake up at like 10. If the buffet closes at 10, I have to wait till lunch, which I know is not a big problem, but my buffet would not close.
Well, the buffet better not close right when the show lets out too.
Because it's not closing.
People like to go to the show and then grab something after the buffet, and I hate it when it closes right when the show ends.
Yeah, no, mine's not closing at all. I'll do that thing, where there's two sides and we can close one. I understand they have to clean it and get new food out, but we're just going to rotate around constantly with the buffet. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, that sounds nice. What would you do about, main dining room dining, fixed dining times, no dining times?
Well, you have to do fixed. There's just too many people on ships nowadays, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I know.
I like the Virgin model, honestly. I think Virgin's doing it well. If they can scale it up to 5,000 or 6,000 people is the question.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, because my Virgin cruise, almost everything was booked and none of us could pre-book the restaurants. That was kind of annoying because the app was just not working at the time. It was quite a long time ago. Hopefully it's a bit better now. But that was annoying. Getting on a cruise, some places are sold out and you can't do anything.
I guess I was fortunate on mine because I was able to go do everything that I needed to do. So it was working well on mine. But if they could scale that up, that was much nicer for me than trying to go to some sort of set dining time.
See,
I'm not good at set dining times. I rarely eat
the main dining, so.
I do. I normally do like every day. And, it's fine when it's set, but I'm an early eater. I'll eat at 5 or 6. On Norwegian, the dining room opened at 5. It was only me really in there at 5:05. But it was brilliant. We never waited for anything. We had, all the waiters are just standing around because I'm the only person there. So I think I would do that. I don't really want to be. I think my overall theme is I don't want to be told anything. I want to eat when I want to eat. I want to wear what I want to wear. And I want to go to the buffet all the time and get cookies out of a vending machine. Just because why not? Yeah, lots. Oh my goodness. So many comments on this. This is amazing. Oh, hello, Kevin's in here. Hello, Kevin. It's nice to see you. He says 1,500 people watching and 536 like buttons. That is crazy. I saw Alana in here earlier too. I was watching Alana's videos. Who do you guys watch your videos? I mean, I watch you guys. My audience seems to really like your videos. You know how you can see also watchers. It's like Tony Don, Gary, Alana, Matt, Royal Caribbean Vlog. Who do you... I know it's really hard to consume content when you're making content. But just throw out a couple of names of people you like. I think that's cool.
Well, obviously, Tony, I watch his videos. I watch your videos. I watch Gary's videos a lot. Jay with the Ship Life, I'll watch every once in a while. The JJ Cruise will pop
Oh yeah, I
up.
love JJ
Morgan,
Cruise.
I'll watch his Sofa Times.
Me too.
I'll do all that. And if I'm watching something other than that, I've kind of gotten into this channel called CoffeeZilla.
Okay.
And all it is
that one.
he talks about influencers who are trying to sell like NFTs and Bitcoin and stuff like that. And then they rug pull and just steal everybody's money.
Oh, interesting.
And so they're terrible people. They're
Yeah.
absolutely terrible people. And I want to know who these terrible people are in the same area venue as I am, right? Like we're all on YouTube. And I said, I would never in my life purposely orchestrate something that would rip people off their money on purpose. And these people are. And it's fascinating that people with 10 million, 20 million subscribers would do that. Why would you ruin your reputation?
Yeah, that's all you have, isn't it?
But I've down that rabbit hole now. I'm completely into that. It's really
sounds interesting. Tony?
Yeah, so for me, it's the same thing. Like I watch Don daily. Don's probably the most religious person. I think we just have that connection, and we watch it all the time. Of course, I watch your videos when they come out, and then man, so much success on this latest video. It's exciting, because you guys may not know this about Emma, but she's a huge YouTube nerd. Like so many hours spent on YouTube education.
Says
and it's so fun. Yeah, it's so well. I mean, it's nice that we're able to sound off on each other. So it's I was super excited to see how quickly that video ran for you. So that's super exciting. Yeah. So in addition to, most of the cruise tubers that we watch, I watch tons of YouTube education. I watch a lot of gambling stuff lately. We watch a ton of like slot machine people. And since I started playing blackjack, I watch a lot of blackjack. But I still love some of like the old, stalwarts of YouTube. I watch Phil DeFranco on a daily basis.
Oh, cool.
I feel like if my show is inspired by any non-cruise YouTuber, it's the Philip DeFranco show. I still watch PewDiePie almost every time he puts a video out.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast, Mark Roper. Anytime those big guys put out a video, I'm trying to figure out Karen, Nate. I've been watching Fun for Louie. I don't know if you know Fun for Louie, but he's a guy from the UK that's currently he custom fit a VW old microbus with a Tesla motor, and he's currently trying to make his way across the United States from California to New York, and he can only go about 200 miles a day in this van that leaks and that kind of thing. But he's really he's an interesting YouTuber, and he's kind of in that circle of friends with Karen, Nate, and those other travel vloggers. So, but YouTube's probably my go-to. Like on, I don't have regular cable. We have all the streaming apps like Hulu, that kind of thing. So I'm watching like the Lego Masters or, documentaries on Netflix. But beyond that, it's kind of just what YouTube has to offer. And again, if you go look at my feed right now, we'll watch a lot of pickleball videos, which is disturbing in its own right. But yeah, that's full of my feed right now.
That's the wonder of YouTube, isn't it? You show like a slight interest in something, and then you go so far into the topic, and then you probably never watch it again. Then you 6 months later decide I'm really interested in this again, and a bizarre section of things on my YouTube. Thank you, Nancy. Sorry, I just need to say thank you before these disappear. Yes. You know how it is.
Yes.
So thank you, Nancy. She says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. And also Keith. Thank you, Keith. He says, Happy Holidays. Thank you very much. Jenny's on the mend, Tony says.
Yes. I was the final thing I was going to say there is that it's cool and alarming at the same time that it's basically AI, right? So it's the robots, it's the machines that are keyed into and programmed to understand how we get satisfied. And so it's amazing to me that when YouTube serves up a video that I want to watch, that's because some sort of robot figured that out. And that's bizarre, but so cool clever. At the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys have a play around with, the new chat AI robot? I asked it to make some stories about cruise ships, and they were so funny. I said, write me a story about a guest misbehaving on a cruise ship, and it ended up with the crew taking a tray and smacking the person, and then they got arrested. The person got arrested who got smacked. So the AI chose violence for that story, but it made me laugh.
Yeah, I think our job's safe for now.
Yeah,
robots.
Yeah,
not forever, but it might be in our lifetime.
Yeah, it's quite clever. If you say, write me an inside cabin review, obviously it is just going through the entire internet and saying, a lot of people say there's not enough storage or the plug sockets are this. And it's quite good at that. It doesn't know, so you can't really trust it. But if you want it to make a poem about cruising or something, like, it will try.
It's certainly interesting. Like it's going to be neat to see how that evolves, because it has an API, so there's already a lot of tools out there that are kind of using that as the back end for like kind of real time AI. It's crazy. Like I don't know. It's going to be wild. I watched a video the other day where somebody completely created a video with that program, and then a video editing program, and the Chat GPT made the script, the editing program made the voice, and then they just dropped a bunch of B-roll, and all of a sudden they had a 3-minute video that was somewhat cohesive in a subject that the person who made the video had no concept about.
Yeah,
it was wild.
But it does.
Yeah, so
it does. It makes it more important that you trust who you're watching in that sense. Yeah. Because if there's going to be tons of content and loads of people are saying the same thing, you're going to trust the people that So yeah, we'll see. It's interesting for sure, but I'm not about to close down my website or give up and give it over to the robot, because
I still want to see the person doing the thing that I'm interested in. Yes, as opposed to just somebody telling me about something and never ever seeing them do it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's easy to see us on a cruise, isn't it? That's not hard. We definitely do that. So
it's harder to see me at home than it is to see me on a cruise.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much for my super chat. It says, good to see you all. Happy holidays. I think my screen is just really struggling with these comments. There's so many in here. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's what people like about YouTube, seeing real people experiencing it. Completely agree. And that's, that's why you have to show the whole thing. Like, it's not, it's very different, the content we make, from what a cruise line would make about its cruises, which I think is nice. We're not there to make another advert for the cruise line. We're there to say, this was great. This wasn't so great. Don, I saw your stuff about Princess. Very interesting. They phoned you or reached out to you, didn't they? Or talked to you.
Like 3 hours after my video went live, they were on the phone in my cabin.
Which is incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
But the fun thing is, they weren't there to say don't do it. They weren't there to give me heck or anything like that. They were embarrassed that it happened.
Yeah.
And so you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, no, it sounds really good. I mean, I always say, when I did my original video about Virgin Voyages, I said some things I didn't like about it, and credit to Virgin, they have changed everything apart from the swimming pool, which they can't do.
They can't do because they designed it badly.
There's always going to be things that go wrong. It's so much more important if they listen and what they do about it. And you can be like the voice, because I'm sure other people on the ship had the same problem. It's very unlikely it was just you. So you're sort of the representative of that. So it's good.
People got to understand, it's only my experience at the time, right? So you can only report on what's happening around you. I very rarely will do anybody who's telling me story. Like, this happened to me, this happened to me.
Yeah.
It's, unless it's something really big that I want to hear about. But, as far as, I didn't have a good meal or I didn't do that, I never report on that unless I'm not having good meals.
Yeah. I might say, I heard someone complaining about their toilets were broken. That happened a lot on my last cruise. My toilet was fine, but I was very aware that there were a problem with toilets. But I will just say, the vibe was, I won't say, this person did, because I don't know. We have a question, and it says, what is your favorite non-Oasis class ship? Are we sticking to just Royal Caribbean, or are we going with any ship in the entire world? Because I've only done 2 Royal Caribbeans. I think Anthem of the Seas I much preferred over Independence of the Seas, a long way. But I don't know. Any favorite ships in the entire cruise world?
Oh, that's even harder. Because every ship has a thing, Caribbean. Right? I'm a big fan of the Princess Royal class ships. I like the Edge class ships on Celebrity.
Yep.
The Pinnacle class on Holland America is great. Like, everybody has their own class of ships that you're gonna love with that cruise line. Now, if you were to say right now, Don, which is your favorite ship to sail on, I'd have to say a Royal class. Yeah. Just because I like Princess Live for the game shows. I love the game shows.
Like what you said, yeah.
So I like that, and they have good shows in the theater. So, and it's an upper, like, it's a premium cruise line, right? So the food is normally good. The service is normally good.
Yep.
And it's not, but there's no bells and whistles, right? There's no flow riders. There's no skydiving.
Yeah.
It's
which is
fun. Destination, and That, but yeah, there's so many ships. It's really hard to nail it down.
Yeah, depends what the weather's like for me. Who am I with? You know, if I'm not cruising with kids, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me, some of those things. If I'm cruising, you know, some cruise ships are so much better for cold weather. Cruising out of Southampton, sometimes we get ships that are designed for the Caribbean and we can't use the outside space because it is so cold. But if we have, you know, like P&O Iona, who I booked again, her main pool is inside, which you need cruising out of Southampton in February or November, or, you know, that time of year.
Yeah, I'm with you a little bit. Like I think the who I'm cruising with is starting to become paramount for me. There's a lot of cool options on ships. Like if we're trying to pick my favorite non-oasis inside the Royal family, I would say it's the Odyssey because of the technology on board. And they've done a really, like, I really appreciate when a cruise line is able to make spaces multi-use, because sometimes you'll see like the main theater on a cruise ship wasted the whole day, right? Like they don't do anything in it and then just shows at night. So I think on those, on that, like the Odyssey, Spectrum of the Seas, both of those ships do a really good job using the space. But it's funny. So in pretty quick succession, I went on the Carnival Celebration, the Wonder of the Seas for Royal, and then the Sky Princess. And I probably had the most fun on Carnival. Sometimes you forget how much fun Carnival is. And then you couple that with people that you like to cruise with, which was the scenario for us on the Celebration. They had great entertainment on there. They had plenty of good food options. And then we had a cool crew that we were running with. And that made all the difference. You know, of course, once we were on the Sky Princess, we also had family. We had Dawn. We had a good family mix there. But to me, the ship wasn't, say, as fun as the Celebration. And you know, I don't do any of the, like, I'm not riding the roller coaster, you know, doing the water slides or anything like that. But they just had a good vibe late into the night. So, you know, the cool thing about cruising is there's a cruise ship for everybody. And so it's kind of hard to, maybe you can match your personality up to some of the people like us that you see. But the cool thing is you're going to find your niche. And, you know, the other cool thing is it's what you make it, right? Like I struggle to say, I mean, I could work at saying, oh, this cruise was bad or this cruise was less fun or whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't think I've ever had a cruise that's like, I'm not glad that I went on, that kind of thing.
Agreed. Yeah, completely. Yeah. I mean, there's so much variety, but as long as I know what I'm getting myself into before I go, then it's fine. You know, I said I don't particularly like formal nights, but I've cruised with Cunards twice, had fantastic cruises because I went in knowing that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pack the sparkly dress and I'm going to have, you know, as long as you know what you're going into. Quite often, you know, I'll get messages from people who say, oh, I hate cruising. I'll never do it again. I took a Carnival cruise in the Caribbean and really they should have been on, you know, Cunard or something. They were looking for like a traditional cruise. Yeah. And it's just, it's so confusing because every cruise line tells you that they're the best cruise line. If you go to book a Cunard cruise, they're not going to say you should be with Norwegian, which is why you need travel agents. Because travel agents can say not really. All the time I get messages and I say or, you know, you must get it on your videos too. People say, oh, this looks terrible, I'd never book it. And I'm like, that's good. That's not for you then. If you've watched this Virgin Voyages video and you hate it, I've saved you some money. Book something else. I don't want everyone to like everything because people won't. So
the most intimidating though is when you meet people on the cruise ship and said, I booked this ship because you like this ship.
Oh, I know.
Are you having a good cruise? I go, yeah, we're having a great cruise.
Yeah, I've only had one once where someone came up to me and they were like, you know, you just say, oh, how are you enjoying it? And they said, nope, don't like it, not enjoying it. But they hated everything was wrong. And I was just like, oh, I don't know what I can like. Even if, you know, things go wrong, you can not. There's things you like about everything, right? Like you're on a cruise, you're not at work, you can eat food.
Some people have to just don't have a good time when one little thing goes wrong, and that means the whole thing is ruined.
Yeah.
And
whereas
I'm glad I get away from any of that in my life. I try and always be, that didn't work, but I'm having this, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You know, if you just focus on the negative all the time, it just will not a good way to live.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of any example. Even if I think about, you know, I've taken like really cheap Costa cruises. I took a Disney cruise and I'm not a Disney person. Cruises that would not be ones I would book if it wasn't for this channel. But I still enjoyed them all. You know, it's just different. It's kind of just interesting to see, oh, well, I wouldn't, you know, like on Costa, when I took Costa, they didn't even include water with meals. So I'm like, but but I know that, just buy it. Like, it doesn't ruin the cruise. And for some people, they kick off about it. You know, same with the Ambassador cruise. Surprisingly, I've seen far more angry people on YouTube than on the actual cruise. I only saw a couple, and the atmosphere was like, oh, hey, they're refunding our drinks package tonight. Let's drink. Everyone was just dancing. Everyone was requesting songs like Sail Away or Sailing By, you know, just songs that were very, very funny. Everyone was having a good time. But, you know, those people had a great time. Some people spent their time grumpy at reception. You know, you choose how you spend your time. So it was good. Thank you for the super chat. We have a question about Discovery Princess booking a cruise. I pass this one over to you guys. Do you know?
Whale watching. Like, anybody going to Alaska, the two things that I highly recommend, I've been 3 times now. Don's been a lot more. Go on a whale watching tour and go to the Mendenhall Glacier if you can, or just go somewhere where you can be close to an ice field, because it's majestic. I mean, you don't really see it other places, or at least we don't here in the States. Unless you maybe go to like the Rocky Mountains or up into the mountains or something, but you still don't see this like kind of glacier flow, and it's impressive. And so to me, those are like highlights of my Alaska cruise, and then everything else is just a bonus. But I would definitely do whale watching and try to see some sort of glacier.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Whale watching. They have Princess has one called not the Bering Sea from the guys from the Deadliest Catch.
Okay, cool.
An old ship that's been redesigned as a tour. And depending on when you go, there's going to be something different depending on the season you go. Early in the season, you're going to see eagles all over the place, like coming to the ship and trying to get fish and all this. Middle of the season, you're going to see all the salmon fishing boats out there pulling huge nets of thousands of fish out of the water. Then at the end, you're going to see all the whales bubble feeding. So there's something different each time. That's not even what's on the cruise, like that tour.
Yeah.
All about the crab fishing and all that. So you're always going to get something different. And then if I saw one that I want to take when I was at Mendenhall Glacier, I walked down to see by the Nugget Falls to see the falls. And there was a canoe out in the water that was getting close and closer and closer to the falls. I said, that's something I haven't done yet. And I'm going to do that next time I'm there.
Sounds cool. Hopefully, if we do the same conversation in a year, I'll have something to contribute. Because at age 11, I was just going wherever my parents took me. Obviously, I didn't plan that cruise. Nancy says, kick off about it must be a Britishism. Is that a Britishism? Do you say that you'd kick off about it at reception?
No.
Really? Oh, there we go. You starting one. Oh, cool.
Yeah, kick off is definitely yours. Yeah.
Really? Oh, good to know. This is how I find out all my Britishisms, because people just, say, oh, we don't say that. And I have to sometimes try and explain the phrases, and I can't. It's just what we say. But kick off, like, oh, I'm going to reception, I'm going to kick off about it.
Well, I can't wait to hear some of the Australianisms and New Zealandisms when we get down there.
Oh, they're amazing.
Down there, Natalie, she comes out with some, and I'm just, what?
Yeah, I talk to Chris Frame all the time, and I learned doco for a documentary, which sounds so cool. Like, I'm going to stick on a doco this evening. It sounds so cool. But yeah, quite often Australia will agree with the Britishisms, which makes sense. So yes, time is flying. Comments are coming in. Tony's in, not Tony, Tommy. We've already got Tony here. Tommy's in here. Hello, Tommy. It's nice to see you. If you had to be an honorary cruise employee for a day, which job would you choose? I think this is going to be our last question because we're zooming forward in time. So make it a good answer.
I always see myself as like a cruise director. I'm very easily outgoing. I'm always quick with a laugh and smile. So I think I would be able to make fun of myself and do ridiculous things as a cruise director. No problem.
Yep. Sounds good. Tony?
I'd be the captain, right? Like, I want to drive the ship. Like, could you imagine being able to pilot such a huge vessel?
Yeah, but they have to get up so early. They have to get up and like start work at like 3 a.m. if you're sailing in somewhere.
I would do it. I think it would probably be very thrilling. Like the first time that you bring a ship alongside a dock or something, just the challenge of that. I think it'd probably be very satisfying, and just to know that you helped contribute to everybody on the cruise ship's livelihood and vacation. So that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be so cool. I saw I can't remember which cruise it was, but I saw someone with a job and I thought that is the perfect job for me. And it was someone in the theater with a laser shining it at people who are on their phones. And I would love to do that. It really annoys me when people are on their phones in the theater. So that would be great fun. And I'd only have to work for like 3 hours in the evening.
Switch the laser to water balloons, and I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in on that.
We had a new type of annoyance in the theatre on the Ambassador cruise that I've never come across before, because they had bar service throughout the entire show. So people would be waving their cruise cards for like 15 minutes. And every time we filmed it, I don't know if I was allowed to film the show, but honestly, I was like, what are they going to do at this point? We're already kicked off the ship. So I did film a little bit, but it was through all of these hands with these drinks, and they would be singing this dramatic song. And then a man comes by like with the tray. It was just really, really bizarre. But yes, our time is almost up. Will you please tell people I would assume that they're already subscribed to you, but a quick bit about your channels, and then hopefully if they're not, better get on it right now.
All yours, Tony.
Yeah, so if you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, I saw some calls for the cruising. I'll go back. Cruising. Please consider subscribing. No, Lido Loca, we do basically a daily show. I might take today off. We do a daily show talking about the cruise news, and I always try to find some sort of hot take topic, or is it wrong to steal from the drinks package or something like that, just to have a little bit of a conversation and draw the community together. And come check us out. And then, of course, tell us about Don's family vacation, Don.
Basically doing the exact same thing, just covering cruising, whether it's a news story or something of interest or a cruise vlog. You never know what I'm going to pop up there, because I don't know until I wake up in the morning what I'm putting out. But I haven't missed a day in over 2.5 years.
You posted a video during this live stream, apparently.
It went up a minute ago at 1 o'clock.
Exactly. That's dedication. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being my guest today. It was so nice to catch up with you guys. And I'm sure you have a fantastic next adventure. I'm very envious.
Emma, I hope your next cruise is longer than 8 hours.
I hope so too. I really, really hope so. I'm flying to my next cruise, so I don't want to fly there, get there, and then have to come back home. So fingers crossed. Everyone keep their fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But
thank you so much. Let us know when
you
go to Alaska, because I'm always in Alaska. So
I've got to. I really do. So thank you so much, everybody, for your questions and your comments. I'm going to do my best to go back and have a look at some of them afterwards. But this has been such a fast and fun live stream. So thank you so much, everybody. Goodbye, guys.
Thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.